Hello. So this is more Goodwill or thrift type finds. And it's these two items here on the chair, plus these four large Rubbermaid totes. These are larger than the 18-gallon ones that I prefer, but they were Rubbermaid totes with lids in nice shape for $2.99 a piece. So I bought those. This is basically a tote that they put the lid at the bottom, which is kind of funny, of Duplo. And so I'm going to quickly open this up and we'll take a look at this. I'm not expecting anything particularly astounding in here, but, you know, I generally pick this stuff up if it's cheap enough. This was $5.99, perhaps not necessarily cheap enough for some people, and I get that. Come on. I do like saran wrap on these, and it's just hard to cut it off. Plus, it's got the lid down below, too. This is one of the things I saw. This was the Duplo Mater truck, and when I looked it up in the store on Bricklink, there was a couple of different versions, and the price really varied on those depending upon which version it was. But I went ahead and bought the lot, and it looks like, you know, there's a random assortment of things. It looks like a large radar dish that I've never seen before in the Duplo form. So yeah, there's a few interesting things in here, and it's probably some things that are non-Lego too, and that's okay. Looks like a Spider-Man motorcycle in Duplo. That's kind of cool. So yeah, there's a number of things in here, and you know, I will look at that more in detail at some point. This one is the interesting thing. Now, I did a little bit of work ahead of time. This, with the top of the box, is totally taped over, and there's what I thought was either instructions or a box here touching it. And I didn't want to try to open that on camera. So all I did is I just basically opened it up to free it up, and I only nicked it a couple of places. It's actually a box, I believe, and then folded the tape over here. And then there was another piece here that ripped a little bit that I pushed down further. So I'll just cut the rest of this off, and then we'll take a look at this. It's pretty sure it's Technic stuff, and from what I could tell, you know, I mean, there was nothing in that I could see that guaranteed that it was Lego. Other than the fact that it is, in fact, Technic, and I haven't noticed a lot of high-degree Technic sets or just fakes coming through. And so here's a random piece that ended up on the top. This is like a cover to this, and there's a few pieces in there. And I'm seeing now we've got some track in here. So let's pull out the paper goods and see what we have here. This looks like, so it's a Technic Catalog. Okay. That's kind of cool. Do we have a date on the Technic Catalog? 1992. So that's pretty old. That is now 30 years old. Box. All right. A couple of boxes, perhaps. 8064. It looks like maybe it's just the front and back panels to the box. Maybe this was a slipcase box. Oh no, this was the actual lid. This was a box that probably had a flip lid. Okay, so that's what this is, and then this is probably part of the actual box itself, lower down, where you've got the seals here that you'd open it up. And then this is the instruction book for 8064. Well, that's pretty cool. It's in pretty decent shape. It looks like it's a 3-in-1. And so, yeah, there is a lot of stuff in here. Lots of track, which I don't think was part of the set 8064. A battery box. Looks like the batteries have been pulled out, even though they've already corroded the contacts a bit on that. There's a couple of train cars here that are connected by wire between each other. Got the connectors right here as well. Not really sure how this all connects in together. I've never really been much of a train person, but you know, I might look into that in the future. But there's all sorts of wires in here. Another battery box. Lots of this this track that you kind of self-assemble. So yeah, I would say this is pretty cool. There's an original bag that's been emptied, but somehow it's still here with all the other stuff. Yeah, and how much did I pay for this one? This was $8.99. So I would say I probably did okay on this. And it looks like the pieces are in decent shape, perhaps a little dusty, but not bad overall. let's see, this is a, I think this is a not as common piece. So I know that this piece here is the connector that holds this other one going upwards. And then this just kind of like pops in between the little studs, and it creates like a crossing type thing or whatever. I don't know that they normally like that kind of connection anymore, but I think that piece is pretty uncommon. Anyway, so if you've got any questions or comments, please leave them in the section down below. Thank you.